Ever get a work order that's so vague it just makes you nervous? Like you know something's going to go wrong.
Oh, yeah, definitely.
Today, we're doing a deep dive on one of those like network setup turns into a tech support nightmare.
Oh, nice.
Our source on this one is Chris Hale.
Okay.
He's a former in-home tech guy who shared this story online. And it's really one of those you can't make this stuff up kind of tales.
I'm intrigued already.
So
Yeah.
Chris gets sent to this older woman's house, and things take a very strange turn.
Right. Well, let's start at the beginning. Like,
Yeah.
what was the initial interaction like?
So Chris shows up, all set for like a routine network setup.
Mm-hmm.
He's trying to get in touch with a client beforehand to get some more info,
Sure.
but no luck.
Oh, so he's walking in blind.
Totally blind. And to make things even more interesting,
Yeah.
the client is this older woman who at first seems totally normal.
Classic setup.
Right.
Yeah.
So picture this. Chris gets to the house, introduces himself, and the client seems very pleasant. You know, she even makes him put on those little shoe booties
Oh, yeah.
to protect the carpet.
Ah, I love those.
Yeah, classic.
Please don't mess up my clean house.
Exactly.
Yeah.
But here's where those red flags start.
Okay.
Remember how the work order just said network setup?
Yeah. Yeah.
Well, the client starts listing off all these tasks. Repairing laptops with viruses, setting up a new printer, connecting everything to the network, installing the printer on every computer in the house, and it just keeps going.
So way more than what he signed up for.
Way more.
And does he try to reason with her?
Oh, he does.
Okay.
He tries to be professional about it. He explains that all this extra work will cost more, that he doesn't have time for everything right now,
Right.
and even suggests rescheduling
Sure.
so they can figure out, like a proper, quote,
Right.
a timeline.
Yeah.
But she completely ignores him.
Oh, no.
Yeah.
That's never good.
Like totally brushes him off. She tells him she needs something to open the printer box.
Okay.
So she rushes downstairs and a few minutes later comes back carrying not one, not two, but 4 laptops
Oh, wow.
and a steak knife.
Wait, a steak knife?
Steak knife.
What?
Chris is thinking the same thing. Like,
Yeah.
does she need help opening the box?
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But here's the really unsettling part.
Okay.
She's still holding the knife
Oh.
while she sets down the laptops
Oh, my
and
God.
starts talking about all the viruses they have.
That's not good.
It's like the knife is just a casual accessory.
Yeah. That's really strange.
Yeah, it's getting weirder.
Yeah.
And this is just the beginning.
Oh, no.
Things are about to get even weirder.
Yeah.
Buckle up, because in part 2, we're diving into the moment everything goes completely off the rails.
So we've got the client, a mountain of tech issues, a steak knife, and she's totally ignoring Chris.
Yeah.
Like, what happens next?
But Chris tries again to explain that he can't do all of this work right now. That it's just, way beyond what he was originally asked to do.
Right.
And this time, his words just seem to trigger something in the client.
Like what? What do you mean?
So Chris is trying to be reasonable. She's still holding the knife.
Oh, jeez.
And suddenly she just bursts into tears.
Oh,
Full on sobbing.
like what?
Snot running down her face, the whole deal.
Oh, that's a shift.
It's a total emotional meltdown.
Yeah.
And you got to remember, Chris is a tech support guy.
Right.
He is not trained to handle this,
No.
like at all.
That sounds really intense.
Oh, yeah,
It must have been hard for him to figure out what to do.
absolutely.
Yeah.
So Chris immediately backs away, puts his hands up, like trying to de-escalate things.
Right.
But the client just turns and stomps downstairs,
Oh, no.
still crying, making a huge commotion.
Oh, my God.
Chris can hear pots and pans banging around.
It's like a horror movie.
It really is.
Yeah.
At this point, Chris is like, okay, I'm out of here. He grabs his stuff, sneaks down the stairs, gets out of the house as fast as he can,
Smart move.
straight to his car.
Yeah. When someone's behaving that erratically, especially with a weapon, you got to put safety first.
You got it.
Yeah.
Chris finds a nearby McDonald's,
Oh, okay.
parks, starts writing down everything that happened.
Oh, good. Documenting it?
Yeah,
Yeah.
trying to, process what just went down.
Sure.
When his company phone rings,
Oh, no.
he lets it go to voicemail.
Right.
Because honestly, who wants to deal with that on the phone?
Yeah, no kidding.
But when he listens to the message, it's the most bizarre twist.
Okay. What is it?
The client is completely calm, almost sweet.
Wow.
She's like, Chris, where'd you go? I looked outside and your car was gone. I've never had anything like this happen to me before. I'm so confused. Please come back so we can get this taken care of.
It's like a completely different person.
It really is.
Oh, my gosh.
Like what?
Yeah, that's so strange.
And as if things couldn't get any weirder,
Oh.
Chris gets another voicemail.
Okay.
this time from his company's dispatch.
Okay.
And they're angry.
What? Why?
They're chewing him out for abandoning the client,
Seriously.
telling him he needs to go back and set up her iPad.
An iPad.
An iPad.
That wasn't even part of the story.
I know. It's like, did they even read his notes?
Wow, that's crazy.
It just adds to the whole absurdity of the situation.
Yeah.
So does Chris have to go back?
I hope not.
Thankfully, no.
Okay, good.
After a few minutes, he sees notes appear on the work order.
Okay.
Dispatch finally talked to the client
Right.
and, surprise, surprise, deemed her unreasonable.
Wow.
So the company cancels all future visits
Oh, wow.
to her residence.
Good for them and good for him.
That was a wild ride.
What a story.
All right, so we've got this mystery on our hands, this older woman, all these tech issues, and a steak knife, which just makes things even weirder.
Yeah.
What could have been going on?
It's tough to say for sure.
Right.
We're not psychologists.
Yeah, of course.
But we can look at some possibilities
Sure.
based on, what we know about people and
Yeah.
how they react to stress.
Exactly. So what are some potential explanations for the mood swings and, that whole outburst?
Well, one possibility is that she was having some kind of mental health episode.
Okay.
Anxiety and depression can show up in all sorts of ways.
Right.
And sometimes it can look like aggression.
That makes sense.
Yeah.
Chris did say she seemed totally normal at first.
Right.
And then things just went downhill so fast.
It's possible that being overwhelmed by all those tech problems just pushed her over the edge.
Yeah, I could see that.
If you're not tech savvy, dealing with viruses and a new printer and all that,
Right.
it can be really frustrating. It
Definitely.
can make you feel helpless, out of control,
Mm-hmm.
and that can lead to some pretty strong emotions.
Yeah, I mean, I've definitely felt that way when my computer's acting up.
Right.
Multiply that by 4 laptops and a printer,
Yeah.
and I can see how someone would just lose it.
Exactly.
And she was older too, right?
Yeah. And for someone who didn't grow up with all this technology,
Hmm.
it can be even more overwhelming.
Yeah, like being thrown into a world where you don't understand anything.
Exactly. It's like trying to learn a new language when you're already stressed out.
That's a good point. And we don't know if maybe she had some other health issues going on too.
Right. That's always a possibility.
Something that could have been affecting her thinking or her mood.
Exactly. So it could have been a combination of things. Mental, emotional, physical.
Yeah.
And then Chris shows up with his limited time and that network setup work order.
It's like a recipe for disaster.
Yeah.
And let's not forget, she might have just totally misunderstood what Chris was there to do.
Oh, absolutely.
Maybe she thought $50 for a network setup meant he'd fix everything.
Right. No matter how long it took.
We assume everyone knows how tech support works, but that's not always the case.
Yeah. And when expectations and reality clash, it can lead to a lot of frustration.
And anger.
Definitely.
So we can't say for sure what was going on with her, but it seems like it was a pretty complicated situation.
Yeah,
And this story really shows how important it is to be patient with clients,
definitely.
especially when you're in their home. You never really know what someone else is going through.
That's true.
And sometimes the best thing you could do is just listen, try to understand, and make sure everyone's safe.
Absolutely. And if you're in a situation that feels unsafe,
Yeah.
get out of there.
No job is worth risking your safety.
Exactly.
Well, this deep dive has been pretty eye-opening.
Yeah, definitely.
It's made me think about customer expectations, the challenges of doing this kind of work, and just how important empathy is.
For sure.
And sometimes the weirdest stories are the ones that teach us the most.
I think so too.
So for our listeners out there,
Yeah.
think about your own experiences with customer service, both as a customer and as someone who provides a service.
Yeah.
What are some ways to make those interactions more positive, more respectful?
It's something to think about.
Let us know your thoughts.